No.
You're muted. Muted.
Yeah.
Mute button.
I think, Jeremy, do you got Tom muted or did he do that? All right. Becky, you got Dean sitting in for Tom. You got that?
Yep.
All right. Who else are we forgetting? We got Tom, but oh, Jax. Yeah. All right, we're good. Got the whole He All gang. We're ready to go.
Nod your head if you can hear us, Tom.
Can you hear us now, Tom? You're still muted.
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
got her.
You hear me all right?
Yep, perfect. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, I got 11 a.m. I'm going to call the meeting to order. It's after 11. If you have your cell phone, please mute it or shut it off. Help with our meeting. Becky, would you do roll call, please?
I sure will. Bob Olson,
Here.
Tom Kitson,
Present.
Jack Scrogstead,
Here.
Mike Copine,
Here.
Mike Zeman,
Here.
Jim Sheeline, and Dean Friel for Tom Wilson.
Here.
Thank you. We'll go around the public. Good. Alice,
Nothing at this time.
nothing? Ms. Naylor? No? Nothing? Clay? Nancy? Well, that was easy. All right. So nobody wants to talk to us. Approval of minutes. Is there any changes or corrections to the minutes of the March 14th meeting? If none, we're going to let them stand as read. We'll move on to reports. There's a sheriff report from Public Safety detailing events with the department. It's in your packet. It's information only among that, but let's go to Claims Committee. Mr. Zeman.
I haven't got the April 3rd minutes yet. But we met twice. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't got the April 3rd minutes. They haven't been posted yet, but I will have them complete for the full board meeting.
Okay. Any questions for Mike on that?
I hope not, because there's nothing.
All right. We'll go to Accounting Services, Mr. Scrogstead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We met Tuesday. I had a record low of a 40-minute meeting. So, but we got some things done. Everything's in your meeting packet. And we award some bids. We're going to dealing with a couple resolutions that we're going to pass on to the full county board from this area. Solid waste, they are taking electronic recyclables now again, so people can start doing that. And then there was a couple things. Is Laura going to be talking today, Alice, about?
She is available if you guys would like her to come
I
in.
don't know if, I think everyone in this committee has heard her little
And-
spiel on the,
That's kind of what we thought.
okay, all right. So some really good information coming out of zoning, dealing with the floodplain, the flood areas. And so I think we're going to be doing well with that. I'm looking forward to getting that thing going. So that's all I have.
Only one that hasn't heard is Mike, and maybe we can take him down there after the meeting and you can.
Yeah, I got, she reached out to Wyoming Township,
Okay,
and I saw the
okay.
2 or 3 page thing that,
If you would stop in the office when you're done, she can give you the rundown on what she shared with the rest
Yeah.
of the board.
okay, thank you.
One of the neat things about what they're doing there, and like she says too, she's going to be upsetting some property owners, but if we can start, hammering away at some of these violations that might be there, that'll bring up our scoring for Lee County. And then as we bring up our scoring for Lee County, when it deals with this, the flood insurance availability for Lee County property owners will start to go down. And I think that's what's important too. So, and overall, it'll help a majority of our residents. It'll make some of them mad, but I'm sorry, but we need to get in compliance. So anyways.
Any questions or comments for Jack? Thanks, Jack. We'll go to Public Safety and Court Services Committee, Mr. Copine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met Tuesday also. The department heads President left the reports. They're on file. I would encourage you to read the sheriff's report. There's nothing derogatory against the sheriff's department. There was some good arrest actions that were taken. But the issues that I'm bringing up are the fact of the public, this new Safety Act, and whether or not the state of Illinois is now going to recall a parole violator if they're arrested. And in that situation, two of the scenarios that the sheriff reported fall under each one of those categories. So it's very interesting to see what kind of a trend it can be, things can be going to. Other than that, the only other big thing was the focus group. And I thought the meeting was very beneficial for our path of travel on sequence of events for properties. And I thank Jeremy for that. So other than that, that's all I have. Anything that you would need to see would be in the packet or available in the packet. That's all I have.
Any questions or comments for Mike? Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
We'll go to facilities and maintenance, Mr. Friel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had a short meeting on Tuesday. We just went over a few updates on the project over at the new courts building. They hopefully will have it done by the end of May now instead of the end of June. Talked to the elevator people today. They thought that the elevator project would be done the first of the week. They just have to wait for an inspection. So other than that, it's in your packets.
Awesome. Sounds like things are moving along good. Any questions for Dean? Thanks, Dean. Finance, Mr. Sheeline.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Finance Committee met this morning. We had the financial report will be there in the packet. Basically, a quick overview on that is things are tracking kind of as expected. I don't want to get everybody any real excited here, but sales tax, income tax continue to be strong. Reed would, if he was sitting here, he'd be waving his arm and because, you know, we're waiting for the economic shoe to drop. We really don't think that'll be true through the end of the year, but we'll see how, you know, that's a thing about the economy. Things are tracking rest of the way. There, Reed just walked in. Expenses are tracking a little bit stronger in some areas than we projected, but overall we're okay. We approved, and we'll have two things in regards to the audit. We had Josh from Whitley come in and do a presentation on the audit. Without going into detail, you can access the audit materials on onboard. Clean audit, and that's clean audit all the way through, and that's a kudos to Reed and to Paul that we're presenting materials to Whitley and our audit folks and working well with them. So that's all good. If there's any questions on the audit, yeah, go ahead, Bob.
No, but we don't need them for the board meeting. You don't want to.
We're not going to have Josh in. Reed's going to be available Thursday night if there's questions on the audit. He'll give basically the same overview of what Josh did.
Yep.
And so he'll be there for if the board has any questions.
Perfect. I just wanted somebody to.
Absolutely. So you'll have two resolutions on that needs to be on the board agenda. The other thing that we talked about is that on June 4th, you can put on your calendar. This did get approved from it's not an item that has to go on our agenda, but the Finance Committee did approve June 4th, having a board retreat to kind of go through the finances of the county. And it's more not specific to the actual numbers. It's more of a mechanical look at how the finances of the county works. And we can, and some of this will be driven by the board members and But the point is we're gearing up for our next budget cycle. We've got a lot of new board members, we've got new department heads, and we're looking to have a retreat on June 4th to have an opportunity to go through in-depth of how the budget works, how we put it together, what's included into what. It's just like, for example, highway department. How does the highway department interact with the general fund of the county? Those kind of things. So it's going to be June 4th. Have at 5:30, we're going to have sandwiches for folks that are there physically. I'll start at 6 o'clock, be wrapped up by 8. We're going to have it on Zoom. It will be a public meeting, so it'll be noticed and all that, but please put this on your schedule. And we'll have it on Zoom. So for Mike, like if you don't have time to come over, you can still get on Zoom and all the materials that Reed and Paul will be putting together will be on board for everybody to review. So, well, there you go. The perfect thing to do for your birthday. You won't have anything to do so anyway, I think that's it, Mr. Chairman.
I got one, I read a report the other day, the CPI is running about 3.5. Is that what you guys are?
Do you believe that?
No, but that's what they're saying.
So they just had, the minutes just got released. The stock market was a little shocked at the release of the CPI numbers. So anyway.
But is that the number we use for the year, or when do we get that number? Is that the?
Oh, Reed, when do they, when they use the annualized CPI number, what is that on the Fed budget schedule, or is that just a calendar schedule? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I mean, everything that they usually present as far as that is an annualized number.
Okay.
So I'm assuming they just use whatever the newest one is when.
Okay.
So I think you're right on that. So like if you wanted the CPI, the official CPI number for 2024, you're going to get that probably in January of 25.
Yeah, so I didn't know what we use for our taxes for budget time when that number comes out,
I don't know that.
So anyhow, over to
Yeah.
Jim. All right. Any more for Jim? Questions, comments? Tom, you got anything? I'm sorry, I haven't been looking up there. All right, I think you said no. He's still muted. So, all right.
I got nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thanks, Jim. Administrative report, Jeremy?
Yeah, just a couple things to highlight. As Mr. Copine had stated, we had a great nuisance properties meeting last week. That focus group is continuing to make some pretty significant headway on finding the proper procedures internally to work interdepartmentally to make sure that we're getting the results that the county is desiring. So pretty excited about that. Hopefully here in the next few weeks to months, we should be able to have some properties that we've been able to work on and find some resolution towards. So
When do we have to use up our funds by? Is there a date for that grant?
the Strong Communities Grant,
Yeah.
we have another year and a half.
All right.
Yeah, so that's going to be residential only. So still kind of waiting on the city to take their portion of it and making sure that that's taken care of. And we need to identify within our group, what on the residential side, which ones we want to take, have use of that. The issue is, we've been really focusing heavily on the industrial and commercial side right now, just because there's some pretty significant health safety hazards out there.
Yeah, but I really don't want to wait on Dixon to decide what they're going to do.
No, we're not. But, that's another piece of that puzzle.
Yep, I understand. But I've had Mayor Van Boy call me. He's got, and so I don't know how to respond, I guess.
Please have them reach out. So,
Okay.
I've asked essentially anybody from any community that thinks they have a residential property that could be, we could utilize that grant on to either turn the property into green space for park use or other use from municipality or turning it back into a residential property. So there's some criteria to that, and really, we only have $75,000, so it's not going to go too far. But hopefully we could take care of at least, 3 to 4 properties, depending upon what abatement looks like, and move forward there.
Yeah, my goal would be to use that up as soon as possible and clean up what we can, and apply for that grant again.
Yep, I agree. Next, we are continuing to invest heavily with our other group on the broadband breakthrough. We did just launch the survey, so if you have not seen that email and or seen it online, please share that survey. It is necessary for us to collect as much data as possible throughout the county, whether you are served and have great internet or not. We are finding out, looking at other avenues of getting that into the hands of folks by mailers that come out throughout the county, and also trying to do some target mailing to some of the already identified underserved addresses. So that's going to be really important for us. We're working through a list of internet service providers right now to then schedule essentially interviews with them, with our county representation, to figure out how they could be a part of our strategic planning as we build out the broadband network throughout the county to make sure there's access for all. So again, I go back to Mr. Book. It's funny, after our last meeting, he's like, I don't understand why we're doing this. This is 2024. Well, it is 2024, and there are a ton of folks that just don't have internet access still. And it's crazy to think about. So we're trying to actively be a part of the solution. So that's pretty significant. Any questions on that?
If there's, it's too bad we couldn't make that map available to Mike and other people, that there's a lot of area in Lee County that are not covered at all for internet, other than, your cell service, if anything, you can even get that. So anyways, it's just nice for people to realize that, you may be covered really good in Lee County or in Dixon or in Amboy, but, you get outside in some of these side roads, they have nothing. And yet they have kids that go to school, and, there's a lot of resources out there that you can get by internet.
Yep, and a few other points to highlight quickly. With some of our large projects that are going on throughout the county, the HVAC Allied project is moving ahead of schedule. That was referenced that they might be completed at least with the HVAC portion of that, by the end of May. So they think they're moving pretty quickly. The new courts build out is going to be another piece of that. The IT technology grant that the new courts received, they will be hopefully completed by the end of June. So that we met with them yesterday, Brian Brim and I, with Nomad and Helm, and walk through all of the court changes that they're going to be doing, and it's going to be a significant upgrade. And it's something that, our counties around us, the surrounding counties, already have these systems, or some of these systems. So we are just getting up into the new age, a little bit behind schedule. So.
And I'll make a comment on that. I forgot I was going to include that in my report. The crazy thing is, usually you're waiting for that because that's a reimbursement grant. You spend the money and we front it, and then the state reimburses us. We got the money. $1.1 million.
1.16.
Yeah. So we've got that money in the bank. It's collecting interest for us, and almost want the guys to slow walk some of the billing. But anyway, it's wonderful that we've got the money in hand, and instead of having to wait for the state to cough it up. So.
Yeah, and it is great. And the last project is the elevator project, which I know is interfering with a little bit of daily life here at the building. Coney's been great. They're pretty much completed, and the only thing that we have to wait on now is the inspection. So they're hoping that the state inspector will be here before our board meeting next week, and then we should be able to have that operational. Any questions?
I got some other questions. I'll wait till you're done there. You're good?
Yep, I'm good.
Maintenance supervisor, we put that posting out.
Yep, so that job has been posted. We posted that at the end of May, or beginning about 2 weeks ago. We have 67 applications that have come through.
Wow.
I have been working with Mr. Wilson on waiting, going through those and identifying folks that are qualified for the position, and we're really excited that I think we have some fantastic applicants.
Good. That's good to hear. And as far, go ahead.
No, you finish up, Bob. No, I do have something I want to ask him though.
One more quick thing, Lee County Tourism, you know, you sent me some pictures of the Lots buses, decals. I don't know if you got them, you could pull up there, trying to put you on the spot here, but
I don't have it
I like
here
what
for me
they're-
to pull up there, but yeah, so Visit Lee County has partnered with Lots and had put some of the Visit Lee County branding on the back of the Lots bus, and it looks fantastic.
I got some ideas on that too. Let's get together after the meeting here and before I forget them.
Yeah,
I wanna
sounds
run
great.
somebody. So, all right, go ahead.
So I was just curious, coming down through town and Casey's got their sign up and all that activity we've got in the Gateway project. Is all that covered under the enterprise zone and how soon does that hit the?
So that's all in the new TIF that the city had put in place. So
Oh, that's right. That's in the phase 2 TIF.
yeah, so that's originally that was going to be one large TIF. And what they ended up doing is breaking it into two because of 88, because that can't be contiguous through there. So that is in the TIF.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yep.
Yep. It's just exciting to see that you know, things are really happening down there.
Well, things are happening there and elsewhere throughout the county, and that's what's exciting too. Is there's a lot of movement in the northwest or northeast portion of our county from an industrial and commercial aspect. The industrial park outside of town continues to get a ton of interest as well. And when Tom Demmer was here a couple of board meetings ago to talk about all the great things that are happening, really that was just scratching the surface. And as things are able to open up a little bit more, we're going to be able to speak more on it. But there's some significant things happening in this county outside, solar energy, industrial and commercial development, residential development opportunities, working with different communities on expansion. Again, I highlighted last month, meeting with the Illinois Tollway Authority and talking about how we can continue to build out our section of 88 to better service our area. Looking at Ashton and Franklin as an exit, continuing to enhance our services here. So there's a lot of movement. I think that, from a board's perspective, you should be proud of all the work that everybody's putting in to continue to make a significant impact on our county. And it's fun stuff.
It is fun. We got 20 people working together for one cause and everybody seems to be jumping in. I love it. So I want to go back to your abandoned properties and we'll move on. And I've talked to you about this and haven't talked to Charlie or the executive. Is there any incentives like tax abatement, like say that Lee Center School? What do we have to do to be able to offer that to somebody to come in that wants to rehab like abandoned property that we feel needs to be condemned or tore down? Is there what could we do as a county to offer them like a 50% tax abatement for 5-10 years like we would if a company come in?
So it'd be like any other, like the city going into an abatement structure. They have the TIF that they work within. They could do that in other scenarios. We obviously have the enterprise zone, but that's not going to hit other things as well. And Charlie's going to have to speak onto this from a legal perspective, but I do believe the board's probably able to go into some, tax abatement deal with the developer as it deems fit, and that's all going to be a negotiation.
The problem I have with that though is Lee County's abating ours, but then we're also speaking for other taxing bodies. How do we do that? I mean, do we have that authority, I guess, to be able to do that?
Sure. So you're seeing a little bit of a blank look on my face because I'm working through all the different nuances that are going to work in order to do so and the criteria that you're going to have to set in place for that kind of mechanism.
Yep.
So when you have these different handshakes that are going to be happening across, you've got, different municipalities and what have you in order to do so. It's a lot of moving parts. And how are you going to set that criteria for how somebody's going to meet that tax abatement?
That's the problem, but it just seems like we need another tool in our tool belt to be able to go to these people because, they're just going to lay there for another 10, 20 years. Is there any kind of thing that we could think outside the box that we could offer these? And you hate to do case by case, but you almost have to, but then you got to be fair and convenient, with everybody. So anyhow, I think it's something we need to look into and start the discussion, I guess, is what I'm trying to do today.
Yep, I think that's great.
All right. Anything else? We'll move on then. Thank you, Jeremy. I have nothing under old business, new business. We have a petition before us, 24-P-1621. It's by Pulse Solar LLC, Pulse Solar 2 LLC, regarding PIN number 16-01-35-400-009. It's in Palmyra Township. Is there a motion to move this petition to the county board agenda? I got Mr. Sheeline moves, Mr. Copine seconds it. Under discussion, Alice, is this one you want to talk to us about?
Yes, please. Typically, we send this type of action through my committee, which is County Services. However, this hearing just wrapped up last night, and that's why it is on your agenda today. I have passed out copies of the finding of facts that were finalized from last night. So you do have those. I will be putting them out on the county website and sending them by email to all county board members as well. The Zoning Board of Appeals did find that the proposed project has met both the county code and the state code, and they have recommended that the county board approve this petition.
Any questions or comments for Alice? Any discussion about this, moving it? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Moving down, I got a purchase of satellite connectivity and equipment. I guess I would, I need a motion to table that.
I was informed that that was tabled by Public Safety.
Okay. So we're gonna,
So we don't need to do anything, I don't think.
what's on our agenda? We need to table it or?
Oh.
Okay, all right. Okay. We'll go to the appointments. We have 10 appointments. Is there a motion to approve all 10 appointments at one time? Mr. Scrogstad moves, Mr. Zeman seconds it. Any discussion about doing that? So all those in favor do all 10 appointments at one time, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now we're going to move, is there a motion to approve all 10? And I'll read them off. Let me read them off here. Mike Copine, Pat Hilliker, Josh Tucker, all right. Renee Kashke, to Papa Fire Protection Board, James Book, Dixon Community Fire Protection District, Susan Larson, Tommy Balk, as trustee of the Ashland Fire Protection District Board, Charles Sellers, Rita Ray, and Jared Nicholson as trustees of the Papa Sanitary District. Mr. Kitson moved. Do I have a second? Mr. Friel seconds it. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Raffle reports. We got the Walton Fest raffle report. Is there a motion to put the Walton Fest raffle report on file with the county? Mr. Cheeline moves, Mr. Copine second that. Any discussion? If none, all those in favor of putting it on file with the county, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. You need to review the per diem report for the county board approval. It's for informational only. It's for the January meetings for March payout. Executive session, I have none today. And now we're going to move into the verification of topics to be included in our county board agenda. Everybody ready to move forward with that?
Do you want to add under the chair announcements that budget retreat?
I didn't hear what you said.
Do you, under E, so the board chair announcements before we get there, do you want to add that budget retreat as an announcement?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. We'll read them off here. Call to order, pledge allegiance, invocation, roll call. Board chair announcements, like she just said. Before I forget, is there anything come out of finance today that we need to do or put on here?
I'm looking through. Oh, yeah, right. I'm sorry.
All right.
So you have the approval of the audit that we passed along, and then also the approval of the communication, not the engagement letter, what do you call it? Communication letter from Whipley.
Required communication letter.
Yes,
Okay.
right.
You got that, Nancy, for both of them?
Those two items, I'm sorry.
They'll go under new
I thought
business?
they were already there. Yeah, they'd be under new business, Bob.
All right.
Got it.
So sorry I brought that up now, but I want to do it before I forgot.
No, we
So-
wouldn't want to forget those.
So we got board chair announcements, the approval of the board minutes, the Joseph Meyer resolutions, the zoning and planning. They look good to you, Alice, the zoning and planning on there? No, she's with us anymore?
Yes.
Okay. I did checking the verbiage, so administrative monthly update and board member comments, public comments, county organizations, reports of the committee, unfinished business, new
Oh.
business. Yep, go ahead.
Sorry, I missed another one. Resolution authorizing treasurer's office signature authority. It's a cleanup from, there was, the resolution that we had when we brought Reed on, had him as a deputy treasurer, and his title is actually finance director. So there's been, Reed reported to us that there has been a number of institutions that said, hey, what's the difference here? So we're doing this resolution. It's just a housekeeping thing.
You want that new business?
That has to be in new business,
So
correct?
that was on the agenda? That was posted, so the
Yes.
audits were after the agenda was posted?
The resolution under new business in the finance committee was new business B. So it needs to be, that needs to be on the county board agenda.
Right, so it is. So
Okay.
that one is on.
Oh, okay,
it's
I
not
see, okay. you
So
do-
before, we were talking about ones that were added, that need to be added after the posting.
Yeah, okay,
So that one is on there.
okay. So, yeah, so then it would be just, to add in would be the 2 for the audit. Okay. Make sure we get everything on there.
So we're good? And that's under new business, and that's what we're in now? So under new business, I got a appropriation resolution of the county matching funds, Indian Head Road, that's the county highway, joint funding agreement with state participation, resolution revising the zoning and building permit fee schedule. And that went through your committee, Jack? Or is that from, oh, that was from last month, so that was held over, so, right? No, that's a resolution, so,
So last month, it didn't, because of me, it didn't make the agenda, so we
Okay.
discussed it.
God,
So
I'm
this
sorry to
month's
bring
we're-
that up then, Zach. I'm
No,
sorry.
I don't, it is what it is. So this month, we're putting it through, but we discussed it
Right,
last month.
okay, all right, okay. It surprised me, I didn't see, okay,
That's
purchases of satellite connectivity and equipment,
That one we're gonna scratch.
all right. Take that out of there.
Yep.
Approval of ARPA funds for Allied Facility Department, partner, the invoice, we'll have that on there. I also need to put the new hire for the sheriff's department. Do you want me to put that on the agenda to make sure it's clean? All right, so we need to put the new hire somewhere in here.
It's on your list.
What? It is? Okay, I'll be quiet. Should have read on. Okay. I knew that. I was just seeing if you did, so. The resolution authorizing the treasurer office signature authority, we got that. Yep.
Bob?
Yes.
Alice, is the chicken thing ready for board approval or not? Yeah.
Last, or on April 1st, we did have the public hearing on that. And the conclusion was they sent it back to my office for further discussion on
Okay,
3 issues.
I remember that. Okay.
Yep.
I think we're better off just to forget the whole chicken fiasco. Oh, so we got 7, 8, 9, we got that taken care of, correct, on here?
Correct. We have the county financial audit, which we're gonna add, and the letter, we're gonna add that.
Yep,
So 8 and 9, do you wanna,
yep. So we got all of them.
so we didn't say anything about the land acquisition.
Yeah, what is 8? What is that?
Jeremy, the IDOT land acquisition.
Yeah, so those are the proposals from the documents that came over from IDOT for the board to approve. Essentially, there's a couple pieces of property that they need to acquire And it's, you know, small chunks of like sidewalk and areas that we own.
Is it, are they acquiring it or is there an easement?
No, they are actually, Charlie, I had Charlie
There's-
read through these.
There's a portion they're going to be acquiring, and then there's going to be, I think, a 2-year easement.
Is there a time restraint on this at all?
They would like it as, you know, sooner rather than later. Charlie did vet this, you know, and if you want to hold it off, you can.
Well, I don't want to sound like this, but we should have ran that through committee to make sure everybody's on board, or do you have an issue with that, or is it?
We didn't have it back.
Yeah, we didn't
for
have
us
the
to-
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
I don't know what their time frame is. There's nothing legally that, you know, we need to work through on our side. This is going to be your policy decision of whether or not you're giving up this land. So that's up to you.
We probably don't have a choice in this, I'm sure, but just for transparency, I thought it would be good to run through a committee.
Sure.
Whatever you want to do. We just wanted to put it on if we, once it was vetted through the SA's office and go from there if you wanted to
What do you
discuss
think?
it.
We're all here. What do you think?
Well, we're talking a right of way, correct?
Correct.
So it's pretty much going to be what's that term they use when they're going to take your front yard?
Eminent domain.
Eminent domain. We're going to take it, you know. We can just say, okay, you're going to take it. I don't know why. I mean, we can say in a public hearing, they're taking it for this reason, and
And if it makes, as I say, if it makes you feel any better, looking through it, you're talking about a very small portion of land and it's totaling fair market value of, I think, 2,200.
Yeah.
One of them was $300. I mean,
Yeah.
so.
I totally understand that. I just, transparency, do we need to do this, or do you want to just put it on the agenda and vote on it? Mr. Kitson, what do you think?
My sister-in-law had a piece of property like this, Bob, and they looked into it and stuff and decided just not worry about it. So we're not talking about that much property, as Charlie said. And we built a wall without having a public meeting, didn't we? So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're governed with, or we're given the responsibility of taking care of the taxpayers' property, and I think we're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, they're looking at this for some of their own infrastructure projects.
Okay.
It's, you know, it's
Let's
not.
just put it on there and we'll move forward then.
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
not trying to
if
be
you want,
painful.
when we get to that at the board meeting, I mean, we could speak a little bit further on that. So.
But yeah, we probably need a visual of what it is or where it's at or what we're doing, so.
Sure.
Are these the two properties on Route 30?
No.
I think that was a done deal.
Yeah, one's actually in Dixon.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, if you want, you guys keep talking, I could go grab the documents and.
No,
and-
but
and
maybe
get
the
the
night
plans.
of the meeting, we'll have some that we
Sure.
can show what it actually is.
We could do that.
And I think both of them are maybe sidewalk related.
They are sidewalk.
All right.
Yep.
Well, we hate to give up our sidewalks. All right. Anybody else? So I really don't know where we're at. I think we got 7, 8, 9. We got all the three on the agenda. Now we go to the appointments. And I'd say all 10 of them are good to go on the agenda. I only got 8, so I guess there is 10 people, eight different resolutions. I would leave executive session on there. And I need to talk to Charlie before you go back across the street about that, about something, but I'll grab you. Approval of county offices reports and quarterly treasury reports on there, roll call. Approval of board member mileage and per diem. Adjournment, of course, motion to approve. Need a motion to approve the proposed agenda. Mr. Zeman moves, Mr. Sheeline seconds it. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Motion to adjourn. So moved. Mr. Cobain moves, Mr. Scroggstad seconds it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.